We all remember when Klay Thompson famously uttered these words during the 2016 NBA Finals regarding Draymond Green's trash talk towards LeBron James in Game 4.
I don't know how the man feels, but obviously people have feelings, and people's feelings get hurt even if they're called a bad word. I guess his feelings just got hurt.
That clip inspired me to make this video. Basically, we're gonna be going through some examples of when NBA players got their feelings hurt, pretty much acting butthurt or salty.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bad shot. I don't care what anybody says, that's a bad shot.
Let's get into it. Enjoy the video. On the night of March 24th, 2017, we witnessed an historic performance. Devin Booker dropping 70 points on the Celtics to become just the 6th player ever to reach such a feat, and was also the most ever scored in the TD Garden. Although the Suns would end up losing that game, it was still something to celebrate, and they did just that by paying homage to Wilt's famous picture, as the entire team gathered around the man of the night. Everyone was extremely happy for what D-Book just pulled off, but Jay Crowder, who was one of the players guarding Booker, wanted to rain on their parade. He had the goal to talk smack in the comment section of the NBA's Instagram post. Here's what he said: "Never seen so many guys happy after an L. People didn't understand why he was being a party pooper. He just wouldn't allow him to have his moment." Then Booker replied by straight up saying, "You can't guard me." After that clapback, it appeared that Crowder tried to backtrack by clarifying, quote, "I was talking about them dudes around you, but I'll see you next year." Now, Crowder wasn't the only one who took a shot at them. Isaiah Thomas had this to say: "We're headed to the playoffs, and they're headed to the lottery." The Phoenix Suns did admit that they actually wanted Book to score as many points as possible and didn't care if it was during garbage time.
Puts it up for 3. No. They want to find him again for 2. No.
I mean, maybe Crowder does have a point that performance did result in a loss at the end of the day. But Booker also had a point, pretty much insinuating that he should have stopped him if he didn't like it. Remember how scary the 2015-16 Golden State Warriors were? We all know that they barely lost a game during that season. Going 73-9 is definitely going to be hard to top. And every time they did lose, it was a pretty big deal because it was so rare. Well, one of the teams that did manage to beat them were the Portland Trail Blazers, who handed them just their 5th loss of the season. And it was even more shocking to see them do it in a blowout fashion, defeating them 137-105, with Dame putting up 51 points. And of course, soon after the game, the Golden State fans brought out the excuse that they just came off of All-Star Weekend and just wasn't prepared for that onslaught. Nonetheless, it was a humiliating loss for them. The next night, the Warriors took on the LA Clippers, and Klay Thompson took his frustration out on them by dropping 32 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. It was clear that they were still upset about that Portland loss just the night prior, and redeemed themselves by defeating the Clippers the very next game. Now, here's where things get interesting. During the post-game interview, immediately following the Clippers game, Klay Thompson had this to say, quote, "We were out to prove a point that last night was just a fluke." For some reason, he didn't want to talk about how they just beat the Clippers. He still had the previous game fresh on his mind. And when that fluke comment made its way to Damian Lillard, he just had to respond, quote, "Nobody is above getting beat." The Warriors were so cocky that they couldn't stand the fact that the Blazers destroyed them, not willing to give them any credit whatsoever. So it looks like Klay was the one who got his feelings hurt this time. Here we have one of the most insane endings of all time. Game 4 of the 2002 Western Conference Finals between the Kings and Lakers. If Sacramento finds a way to survive this final possession, then they will go up 3-1 over the almighty Lakers. After Kobe and Shaq both missed their shots, it looked like the Kings were gonna hold on to win. But Vlade Divac makes a costly mistake.
We're down to 7 seconds. Bryant putting the move on Christie. Rebound O'Neal, coming up short. Ori for the win.
Instead of securing the rebound, Divac decides to just bat the loose ball away from the basket, thinking that would be a smart move, but all it did was land right into Robert Horry's lap, as Big Shot Rob evened up the series 2-2. The Kings would have been really close to advancing to the finals if that ending had gone slightly different, and Divac, knowing that he screwed up, was clearly salty about it.
Everybody could make that shot, that's last shot. It's just lucky shot, that's all. You don't need to have a skills or some, in that kind of situation. You just throw it and if it goes in, goes in.
And here's Horry's response.
It wasn't no luck shot. I've been doing that for all my career, so he should know. He better read a paper or something.
I know Vlade was just disappointed in himself more than anything, but he still didn't have to go out of his way to say that.
It's just lucky shot, that's all.
In the 07-08 NBA season, the Houston Rockets did something that is extremely hard to accomplish. They managed to win 22 games in a row, which was then, at the time, the second longest win streak in NBA history. And the one team that really wanted nothing more than to snap their streak were the LA Lakers, but were not able to. And in the final minute, things got chippy.
For the league's best player. And what a game for Rafer Alston. A career-high 30 points, a career-high 8 3-pointers. And there's no need for that. Just walk away.
Rafer Alston went full-on skip to my Lou on Sasa Vujacic, completely toying and embarrassing him in front of everyone, which caused Vujacic to commit a hard foul, because he didn't like how he was showing off. Okay, I get that Rafer Alston might have been doing too much, but it was just funny to see Sasha get upset over it. After a team gets eliminated in the playoffs, it's not uncommon for the losing side to not even take the time out to congratulate the other team. We've seen it plenty of times before. Russ walked off the court in 2017. Boston did it to Detroit in 1988. And most famously, those same Detroit players then turned around and ignored the Bulls in 1991, just to name a few. But is it just me, or does nobody ever talk about what happened in 2009? When the Orlando Magic beat the Celtics in the second round to advance to the conference finals, everyone just automatically crowned the Cavs as the Eastern Conference champs. But to many people's surprise, it didn't work out like that. Orlando knocked off Cleveland in 6 games to punch their ticket to the NBA Finals. And LeBron clearly looked pretty bitter about it, as he immediately made a beeline towards the locker room. And of course, you know that all of the talk shows the next morning made a pretty big deal about it, saying that his actions were unsportsmanlike, and even calling him a poor sport. It was definitely a controversial topic at the time.
He didn't shake Dwight Howard's or the Orlando Magic's hands. What is your take on it?
I don't have one. I think people make too much of it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. I mean, it's a very competitive game, and we're human just like everybody else.
Alright, so those were several instances where it looks like some feelings got hurt. Feel free to let me know who else should have made this list down in the comments below. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.